What's up, fam? Wanted to drop a weekend video. Gonna do a couple of them actually. First one's gonna be how to turn things around. So if you're struggling in your trading game right now, not making any money, giving too much back, that's what I want to talk about because I know there's a lot of people suffering from that. And it's typical in this type of environment. So let's get into those details. I will do a video breaking down the SPX, what happened on Friday, what we're looking for in the market. Obviously, if you look at SPX weekly candle, it'll tell you all you really need to know. A lot of indecision. Sold off at the end of the day on OPEX. We haven't seen that type of a sell-off on OPEX day. I'm going over a year at least. It seemed like it was quad witching day the way things sold off. It's my son's birthday weekend, so unfortunately wasn't here for that end of day on Friday to see all the fireworks, but looking at those candles, seeing what happened, yeah, there was definitely a lot of fireworks. We'll break that down. Also going to do the ticker recap video this weekend, and we'll try our best to do a fundamentals with fit video of Sherv. If not, the details will be posted in Sherv's room. So listen, this is the time, the environment in this type of a market when you know people are getting cut up. I could always look at a chart and tell you if you are focusing on that chart, if you're focusing on that index, that ticker, whatever it is, I can tell you what your account looks like just by looking at the chart. When you have a index, a stock, whatever you're playing that looks like this, and that's the only name you're focusing on, guess what? You're profitable, you're making money, and you love it. When you have an index that looks like the way SPX looks right now, let me see if I got SPX handy in here. Well, let's just take this picture right in here. You got something that looks like this, you're having a lot of turbulence in your account. In this environment, in that type of environment, I always like to tell people, make sure you understand where your high or low is, make sure you understand not to overtrade and all those things. But you likely going to have to go through it yourself, and then you're going to learn those lessons, and it's going to take those lessons being repeated over and over until you finally realize, that's it. I know how to respond. I know how to act in this environment. This environment right now, in terms of the overall market, is a hard penny. And that's what I was talking about. It's a hard penny. So when it's a hard penny, new traders that are eager to continue the pace that they're at, let's just say you were making good money in August when things were easy, or March, April, May, when we had the bottom after Corona to our top, a lot of new traders came into the market at that time. Things were a little bit easy because stocks only went up, right? That's the new saying everyone's doing. And eventually stocks don't always go up. And then they start to chop you up. And the stocks start to look like a pattern's going to play out, and boom, they flush it. And that's what happens. And when this starts to happen, traders get frustrated. They give back too much. They start oversizing. They're trying to compensate. And if you need to make the money, like if you're trading for a living and you need to make money, all you're doing is reflecting on not only you're not making money, you're losing money. So you're starting to panic, right? You're starting to panic because you can't retract. You can only grow. You need that money to live. And it's not going to be like that. Trading is just like most businesses out there, okay? Most businesses. Let's just say you're in the restaurant business. What's going to happen in the restaurant business? You're going to make your peak dollars in the spring, in the summertime. Patio, if you have a patio, that's the time you're going to make your bread and butter. When it's winter time, you're going to budget less. You're going to be starting to make less money in the market. That's the natural business cycle for, let's just say, for a restaurant. Just like in the trading game. There's going to be opportunities in the market, and it's not easy to pinpoint exactly when it's going to be, but there's going to be times when you're making cake, and there's some times when you're losing, and you got to go into capital preservation. The hard part is, in this business, you can lose, and you can lose everything you made. That's where the experience comes in, and you have to understand, okay, what do I got to do to stop the bleeding? What do I got to do to correct course here and get back on a winning trajectory? First off, step number one, and it's not listed here, guys, is always respect where the higher low is in your account. If you've lost the higher low in your account, what you should do is really bunker down. From that point, you need to go talk to your mentor. Okay? I got a couple of stories. I read a couple of stories this weekend. I heard some things, and I'm like, come talk to me. And I'm talking if you're with Fit, but if you're not with Fit, talk to somebody. Talk to somebody you respect in the game. Talk to somebody that's been doing it longer than you, because trust me, they've gone through this. They've gone through this before. All my educational content, every time I share something that's off the top of my head with what's happening in the market, what I'm seeing, how I'm feeling, is because I've gone through it before, okay? Talk to somebody who has, if you haven't. And kudos to those that have already reached out to me. Talk to your mentor. Even just you talking out loud and sharing your experiences and sharing your struggles with somebody might give you the aha moment yourself, because You're verbalizing it. You're vocalizing it. You're admitting the mistakes that you're making. You know, any mistakes that you made this week, in the past couple of weeks, they could have been preventable. Now, you probably likely could have still taken losses, but you could have prevented how much those losses were. Prevented how much overtrading you made. Like, there's little things that you can do to really turn things around. So first step is, hey, talk to your mentor. Reach out to somebody. Stick with the trend. Okay? You were getting caught up in this market environment, trying to trade counter trend, trying to trade stocks that are, let's just say a DraftKings, for example. If you're struggling and you're not comfortable to buy the dip on DraftKings because you don't really, you can't take another loss, but you're buying something that's in a downtrend, waiting for a corrective move, and then you get in and you're panicking because you're down, well, then don't trade that. Don't trade. Go buy TGT. Go buy a stock that looks like this in a beautiful uptrend. Stick with the trend. Don't play counter trend. It's the hardest form of trading. If you can't handle it, don't do it. And the easiest thing to do is stick with the trend, because when you have a bullish stock, it's very forgiving. You buy on this day, guess what? You're green 2 days later. You buy on that day, guess what? You're green the next day. You buy on this day, hey, now what's going to happen? If you bought on Friday, likely you're going to be green Monday or Tuesday. That's the nature of a beast. Like a target. Let's go look at an NLS. Look at this stock, right? Let's go look at Fiverr, whatever this one's called, right? Look at this trend. Look at Peloton. Look at the trend. If you bought these stocks, it did not matter. When you bought them, you did not lose money. Zoom, Roku, Peloton, I'm just going through these. Etsy, right? You got a beautiful trend. Use that daily 52-week high, all-time high trend to be your friend. Stop trying to catch the stocks that are in equilibrium patterns and triangle patterns going into oversold conditions. Keep it simple. Keep it easy. Only trade 2 stocks. Stop trading everything. And it's very easy to do when you're in a community like ours, right? You go into the main and there's 50 stocks out there. But don't care about the 50 stocks that people are trading. Care about the ones that you came into the day prepared to trade. So if you came into the day prepared to trade Peloton, trade Peloton. Someone talks about Peloton, enjoy and participate in that thread. If someone's now talking about DraftKings and you weren't looking at DraftKings, don't open the thread. Who cares? Don't look at the chart. Forget it. That's not your stock. Stick to 2 charts. If I was coming into the week and I was a struggling trader and I really wanted to get things going, what would I do? I would focus on Target, and maybe it was Etsy. Yeah, I'd focus on Etsy. I'd go Target and Etsy this week. I say those 2 stocks, they're moving very, very slowly, but they're in an uptrend. They're in all-time highs. They're 52-week highs. The trend is great. I'm going to participate in these 2 stocks. That's it. Tesla right now, stifled at the golden pocket, stifled at the, in a triangle pattern. Amazon, daily equilibrium, broke bear. Apple equilibrium. Like this, we don't know, right? They're not at 52-week highs. They're not at all-time highs. Stick to 2 stocks trading at all-time highs. Also, stick to large time frames. Man, let me tell you something. Trading, is hard. It's a great business. When things are going good, when it's payday, everybody's loving it. But it's hard. You know what's even harder? When you zoom in, 5-minute, 15-minute candles, 2-minute candles. When you look at the daily chart, these are daily candles. This takes time to develop. Nice and steady to the upside. If you were looking at this on a 5-minute chart, that's, bearish engulfing candlestick, almost a bearish engulfing candlestick, but you get the point, like you're out, right? That's it. You can't handle it. Whereas if you're allowing the daily chart to develop, stick on the 4-hour chart, stick on the daily charts. Only watch the 4-hour and daily charts. Anything less is way too much noise. If you were trading this daily candlestick in here, you saw a 15-minute candlestick, you would believe this stock is done. Here we are, 52-week highs, actually all-time highs, a couple of days later. But those short-term time frames, they will cut you up. Okay? Allow time to develop. How do you trade the 4-hour and the larger time frames? You do it with a little bit less size, enough that you can allow a couple of days to play out. You're not all in. You're not going crazy. You're not in big option positions. Just allow it to develop. Only trade stocks trading above the daily ADMA. So similar to 52-week highs, all-time highs, you want to trade stocks that are strong. If they're above the 8 exponential on the daily, they are strong. If they're below the 8 exponential on the daily, there's pressure from above. It's in a corrective mode. And unless you're trading bearish, you're not trading with the trend. Stick to stocks only above the 8 exponential on the daily. That's it. Keep it simple. Don't try and do anything else. Focus on 52-week highs, all-time highs. I've already talked about that. Stick to max loss sizing. Okay, you're going to enter this trade over here, and you say, you know, I'm only willing to lose $1,000, and my stop loss below this daily support here is, you know, 5,000. Well, that's it. You can't do that. You can't make this trade in here because your daily support is over here. So if you're going to get in on this candlestick and you're going to use this as your daily support, and you don't want to lose more than $1,000, then your sizing has to be applicable to that $1,000 loss. Meaning, hey, if I wanted to buy 10,000 shares and this would have been a $5,000 loss over here, maybe I'm just going to buy 2,000 shares, whatever it is. Stick to a respectful amount, because guys, when you catch a stock that's in a 52-week high uptrend and you allow it to develop over time, you stick to the higher time frames, you have your position sizing in, you're going to make your money as the stock continues to go up. Go look at Tima, for example, and Peloton. She's been on that forever, killing it. Very simple. Then you have other people trying to do the crazy stuff and struggling. Yeah, it makes sense. One's trading Peloton, continuously going at all-time highs, then the other ones are trading equilibriums, stocks in a downtrend, counter trend, triangles, equilibriums, breaking bear, whatever. Keep it simple. Go back to the basics. Easier stocks. 52-week highs and all-time highs are bullish. Guess what? They're more than likely to continue to be bullish. Okay? Very simple. Stick to max loss sizing. Just talked about that. Last but not least, move away from options. If you are struggling right now, guess what? Options is not for you. If you can't handle the loss right now that you're taking, guess what? Options out the window. Back to common shares. Once you build your confidence up, once your account's back to where you want to be, once you're feeling comfortable in the market again, and you want to start increasing some risk exposure to taking, you know, maybe some bigger wins, putting in some size, going for those quick weekly option hits like we were smashing all the way up until the end of August, stick to common shares. Look what I did with Apple and Microsoft. The reactions that we saw, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, it didn't really affect me because I'm in common shares. I'm like, it's okay. I'm going to let things develop. But no, of course, I didn't like to see what happened Friday at the end of the day when I wasn't even watching. But not a major effect. You know what I mean? Had I been $25,000 in Apple options, $25,000 in Microsoft options, $25,000 in Amazon options, Friday would have been a horrible day. It would have been like, wow, got smoked. Shouldn't have gone to my kid's party after school. Like, right? Think about that. Common shares. Less option trades. Follow these steps, guys. Keep it simple. Go back to the basics. But first and foremost, talk to somebody. Trading is hard. Doing it by yourself in a very isolated world. You know, it's you and the computer and the market and all the noise and, you know, CNBC and everything, Twitter and all this stuff. And then you lose money. It's like, oh, it's hard. But you don't need to do all that. You have a community with you. Leverage the experience that other people have. Something like this. Does this help you? Will this help you moving forward? It definitely will. It definitely will. Now, you might want to make what you made in August, and this might not help you do that. That's okay. There will be another August. In the meantime, don't blow up your account. In the meantime, don't get so beat up that you start thinking, I can't do this anymore. Understand, you have to adapt to the market environment. Just like a restaurant. When they're in peak season, in spring, in summertime, they're full staff, they're open 7 days, open later, etc. Fall, winter, reduced staff, reduced hours, reduced menu, whatever it is. Understand, there's cycles in this business. And understand when the market's telling you you're in a different cycle. But even in that cycle that we're seeing in the overall market right now, there's targets out there. And this is just one that I'm thinking off the top of my head. Costco, another one. Peace out, everybody. I'll see you with some other videos this weekend.